Hi everybody, this is a black and white control deck based around Beseech the Mirror to search up exactly what we need at the right time. We're putting this in kind of a black and white tokens shell mixed in with some interesting permanent enchantments. We've got a couple of copies of Invasion of Tolvada, one of my favorite cards, to bring things back from the grave after we get some use out of them. We're spending the first couple of turns removing creatures from the board and kind of setting ourselves up to play Beseech the Mirror with Bargain, so we're trying to create tokens and leave things on the board to sacrifice to that spell. We've got a couple of copies of Citizen's Crowbar. Been trying to put this to use since I've been seeing more enchantments on the ladder. It was okay, but this could definitely be a little something else. And then I can tell you right now, one other change I would also make is adding another copy of Phyrexian Arena or two. Great for just keeping things in our hand to do and play against our opponent. Only time this did not come in handy was a particular opponent who had Sheoldred on the board and I had 0 removal. But usually, even if Sheoldred comes down, you draw a couple of cards and you usually find something to remove it. In the 4-mana slot here is where it gets interesting. We've got one of copies of both Phyrexian Obliterator and Phyrexian Vindicator, the idea being that we can search up the perfect one for the job, and then we've got a couple of copies of the usual control staples like Depopulate and the Wandering Emperor to go along with Sheoldred and Sorin. We're running 2 copies of Virtue of Loyalty to go along with all the token producers that we've got, and then on the top end here we've got Virtue of Persistence and Kaya Intangible Slayer as some kind of beefier top end things we can go searching for if we need a bigger win condition late in the game. Alright, well let's go see a few games with this deck over on the ranked standard ladder and see if we can't find a way to hone this deck a little further. Alright, let's get it started here. Ooh, unfortunate Phyrexian Vindicator in this hand. We're going to be put to the test right away with a Phoenix Chick out of a likely mono-red deck, so let's see if we can't get all of our white sources out first. See if the top of our deck is going to be nice to us. Opponent's got a Feldon, Ronom Executor? Excavator. Let's see, we could make a Knight, although that is an instant, so we can do that whenever we want, and we got Go for the Throat too if we don't want to touch Feldon. Let them see any more cards off of the top. Goes to attacks. Yeah, let's do Go for the Throat here on Feldon. We can save our Virtue token and maybe block this Kumano when it flips over. Depopulate, a nice draw. Yeah, we're going to pass here. Normally, I really like Phyrexian Arena, but kind of feeling the squeeze. Opponent's got a lot of cards left in hand, and they can really put a lot of hasty damage onto the board pretty quickly. Don't need to give them an extra win condition by having us ping ourselves for 1. Especially when we don't have too many life gain things in our own deck. Alright, let's do this Virtue while we got the mana. Alright, Caves, we got 4 white. Let's do it. It's going to cost us 1 life, but I think it's worth it. Get this Vindicator down. Just a 1-of target in here so we can tutor for it when we need it. Feldon, another copy coming down. They've got the Mechanized Warfare on the board, so everybody's hitting a little harder. But I think that's fine. We're going to block Kumano. I think Feldon too. I think getting this off the board is going to be worth letting them see a couple of cards off the top. Plus we get to ding the Phoenix Chick with the Vindicator ability. So now they're going to be almost entirely dependent on either going around this Vindicator or in drawing burn off the top, excuse me. So we're going to attack with the Vindicator. We got Virtue of Loyalty hanging out over here. Let's plop that down because that's going to untap our Vindicator and make sure we've always got it available as a blocker. Opponent taking their time. We've got a Squee on the board, and they just leave it alone. Okay, let's play Swamp. We're going to go attacking. Hit our opponent for 6. We're going to play out a Knight to the board. That's going to get some counter, and then Liliana here. Let's make him sack Squee. No surprises. Just make them really have to play off the top. Use nothing but burn spells if they want to get out of this. Alrighty. 4 cards. Ooh, and the Festivities. That's worth 2.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
We can hit them back for 2 with the Vindicator. They're at 5. Lightning Strike. Okay. Down to 3. Play with Fire would have done it there. We just skated by on that one. Good game. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty good for what we're going for here. So we got some early token generators that Black and White loves to do. And then we've also got kind of a payoff with Beseech. So that's what we're trying for here. I do like this Virtue of Loyalty. It does give us the option to make a token early in the game if our opponent's not doing anything worth removing. Let's fire that off right now so our opponent can't steal it. Yep, they'll take the wedding announcement, a good target, with that Invasion of Gobakan. Leaves us with not much to do until turn 5 at the moment. Although opponent not sporting much themselves. We'll see if they're on some kind of control. The wedding announcement, a nice draw here. Let's go attacking. A Ganjo. Alright, so the knight is down. Play out the announcement, another land. I will say the nice thing about having Vigilant Knight tokens against mono white is no Wanderer. I suppose they could make a creature and block it, but you don't get the fancy exile. Alright, let's go attacking. Speaking of the Wanderer, alright. Makes a token. Do we remove it? Well, let's see. Let's see if they want to risk it. Alright, they do. Yeah, we'll just let it die. We're going to get more out of the wedding announcement anyway. That's fine. And I think rather than Beseech for something, we're going to do Virtue of Loyalty. We don't have any permanents in the graveyard yet to use with Invasion of Tolvada, so nothing really to reanimate. Crawling Chorus from the opponent. And then another Samurai. Coming in at the invasion. I'm going to block. Alright. Second invasion. No permanents in our graveyard. Let's just keep making some tokens and making them bigger. Got a couple of 3/3s out of that with our second wedding announcement. Opponent trying to keep up here. They're going first strikey with that. Puts a counter on their Samurai. Yeah, you can have that invasion. That's fine. Kind of don't want that hanging over me. Another wedding announcement. All right, let's do go for the throat on this token then. See if we can force him to pop the invasion. No, okay. Well, in that case, let's attack with 2 creatures here over at the Wanderer. See if we can't eliminate that. Okay, no blocks. And let's go for wedding announcement number 3. If this lands, that'll actually draw us 2 cards at the end of our turn since we attacked. Good, a little bit more mana. All right, so this will also allow us to Beseech the Mirror and just go looking for something, play it right away, and instead of bargain away one of our tokens, can maybe just play something. Oh. So White Sun's Twilight wipes the board and then refills it with mites. Nobody attacked, so nobody gets any counters. Tough one here. Let's just go with Sheoldred for now. If they remove Sheoldred and do an all-out attack, it's actually not the worst. Especially since we get a couple of blockers off of this wedding announcement. And they also can't block. So the opponent just wiped the board, followed up with a threat with these mites, but it's not that threatening. Like, as it is, only 3 of them are getting through and then getting some counters. So yeah, we'll take the bait. We're going to block here. No reason not to, really. Sheoldred kind of big, thanks to all these counters. Eternal Wanderer, the follow-up. Alright, so could be another board wipe here. Chooses our token. And puts a counter on the might. Alright, so we're each left with one thing. We could Invasion out Sheoldred. Can't flip it right away, but opponent scoops it up. Good game. Alright, it's a risky keep, but we're going to do it. We got some early removal. We got possibility of an early Lily into Sheoldred, into Eventual Kaya. Opponent. Alright. Let's discard Kaya. We can get her back later with Tolvada. Yeah, we'll play out tap land here. Expect we're going to see a little more discard from the opponent. Always a popular deck choice. No. Well, then I have a surprise for you. Great draw here, Phyrexian Arena. Lovely. Black with minimal ways to get rid of enchantments. And this is just going to put us way ahead. If this is a discard deck, it's just going to undo all the work they're trying to do.
Happy to help.
So Liliana of the Veil comes down, asks everybody to discard. Let's get rid of our Liliana then. We'll draw with the Arena, draw for turn. Let's make them sacrifice Liliana. And then we'll keep developing our mana here with the Raffine's Tower. Yeah, just a Howling Mine with a minor drawback here for the rest of the game, and only working for us. So opponent's got a Flesh Gorger. Could play Sheoldred here, but it's most likely just going to get removed. Let's try for Sheoldred's Edict. We'll get rid of that. Sheoldred can't even block this thing because it has Menace. And this could let us destroy whatever their turn play for the turn is. Ugh, Trespasser. Where's my Edict? Okay, we'll let that resolve. They eat a creature out of their own graveyard. Get the extra damage in. Yeah, we're drawing a bunch of extra cards. Let's pay the cost. Let's discard this extra Fateful Absence just so we can go for the throat that Trespasser. I mean, Arena's going to be feeding us cards for the rest of the game. So I think we can afford to do this. Let's go for Adeline. I want to give them a juicy target for whatever removal they've been holding on to. There's the Edict. Because if we can keep a Sheoldred on board with this Arena, it's going to just like pay us back for all this life we're spending. So let's give it a try now. Who knows? Alright, I think it's the Scry ability from that enchantment that they've got that's kind of holding up priority for them, plus whatever instance they may have in hand. Oh no! Opponent's got a Sheoldred of their own. Both Sheoldreds negating each other's abilities. Alright, we'll go land for the turn. Liliana of the Veil, make them sacrifice their Sheoldred. And we'll follow up here with this wedding announcement. And get in for 4 damage. We're going to see if we can keep a Sheoldred on the board and start gaining some life. Sheoldred hitting our opponent for another 2. Bringing them to 13. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger again. Alright. Well, looks like we're getting our triggers finally. So 2 life a card. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's make everybody discard. Opponent's been holding on to some stuff over there, and we'll try to get rid of it. Lord Skitter over there going to the graveyard. Let's go Edict on this Flesh Gorger. And yeah, opponent scoops it up. Can't keep up with the Arena. Good game. All right. This is a weird one, but we're going for it. Citizen's Crowbar, kind of a pet card of mine. I always try it in a few different decks. It never really works out that great, but since we are going with a token sacrificey theme here with Beseech, I mean, this gives you two things to potentially bargain away. Plus, it's a little extra artifact enchantment removal. Opponent looking like they're living their best domain life with all of these triple lands. All right, well, let's go attacking. Okay, nothing from the opponent. We're going to play this black land, go Wedding Announcement. Tough thing about Beseech is it does need the 3 black mana, which we are currently missing. All right, opponent's got the flashed-in Leyline Binding for our Wedding Announcement. And they go with the Invasion of Zendikar to start ramping up. So we'll see if this is the Invasion of Alara flavored version of Domain, or if they're just leaning on good old Atraxa to draw some extra cards. At least we've got these Beseeches in hand to hopefully find what we need. Going to use this Citizen to get our Wedding Announcement back. Opponent sitting on 7 mana. Kind of the sweet spot if you're going to start... Oh no, the Goose Mother. The Goose Mother. Reminds me of, what was it? Hydroid Crassus from... I guess that was one of the Ravnica sets? I don't know. Anyway, can't let that stick around. Don't want our opponent drawing extra cards if we can help it. And we'll get Adeline down since it's feeling like we're going to be working on these tokens. Putting them to work for us. Opponent's got the End. All right, well, have a look at my hand. That is a shame. They know about some of these cards in my hand, but don't think they took a thorough look through this deck to see some of the one-ofs we've got going here. All right, let's go attacking again. We got 4 tokens on board. Kind of just want the card draw at this point. Let's see, play out Caves, and let's go Beseeching. Yeah, I'm actually going to sacrifice one of these guys. So we know that deck runs Leyline, so what do we get? Yeah, getting one of the Phyrexians, I don't think that helps since all their removal is not damage-based. Not running a ton of creatures. If they are, they're going to outclass the Phyrexians, but maybe we just go Sorin here. Sorin will keep us drawing cards. Yep, let's take a look. Yeah, we'll reveal Liliana, that's fine. Speaking of Leyline Binding, there it is. All right, well, Sorin banished to exile. We draw Kaya off the top, though. Thanks to those Wedding Announcements flipping over. Opponent cycles away a tri-land. So we've got 9 on board. Let's go attacking and see if any of this makes it in. Okay, maybe they got something. All right, Leyline Binding. All right, so we're still a little short. Exiles one of those tokens permanently. And unless they've got something else, we're going to hit for 6, bringing them to 4. They do have some food left. Thanks to the Goose Mother. So I think what we want to do here, let's go for Liliana of the Veil. And yeah, let's plus it. We can afford to do this. Get rid of that last card, opponent. We're going to ditch this extra land. Let's see what they were holding on to over there. Another copy of the End. I guess they could not cast that thanks to the mana they had available. All right, opponent wisely eating some food here. Brings them back up to 10. All right, looks like they're looking for something. Cycling that land away. All right, they've got something. Let's cycle. Oh, okay. Wasn't good enough. Good game. All right, let's mulligan that. This looks better. Slower, but better. Well, we do have Virtue to make a knight if we need to do something on turn 2. That sounds good. Also tempting to keep that extra swamp there, but starting off with a nice balance is good. Let's see. Let's go with the tower. Why not? Opponent's only shown us planes and no creatures, so that means they're not the fastest deck in the world. If it was soldiers, we would have seen the recruitment officer most likely. So we'll just keep working our way up here. All right, Restoration. Gonna go find them a plains. All right, we're gonna play out this knight thanks to the Virtue. Yep, just a regular swamp. We'll go attacking with Vigilance. Yeah, depending on what our opponent does here, we might just want to flash in this Wanderer and start making some more tokens. That'll also, if they can remove it, that'll give us something to use Invasion of Tolvada on and get that back. All right, so they ramped with the Restoration. Let's try the Wandering Emperor here. We'll make a Samurai. Anything, opponent? Fateful Absence? A March? No. All right. Adeline, not a bad draw either. Well, we've got 2 vigilant creatures. Let's go attacking. Okay, a Ganjo. I was thinking it might be the Wanderer, and they might just have to make a token. All right, let's keep making tokens with ours. Let's go Virtue of Loyalty and start beefing them up a little bit. So opponent does get the Architect flipped over onto their board, can start making tokens of their own. One more turn, though, until our tokens grow enough to kind of outclass that. Rabble-rousing. All right, I guess this could be a kind of token-themed deck. All right, hide something away. We draw Wedding Announcement. Let's put a counter on one of these creatures. Then it can go toe-to-toe with the Architect if we needed to. They block. Interesting. I guess the theory is the rabble-rousing is going to fill up the board anyway. Well, we've got a Wedding Announcement to follow that up. Make sure our board stays a-growin'. Another land. Stylish Plains. Ashiok Sleeves from our opponent. Carefully weighing their options. Sunfall. That's going to leave them with a 4/4 Incubator token that they do have the mana left to flip over. We draw Citizen's Crowbar. Let's play this. Citizen's Crowbar activates. We're going to make a Samurai token. Citizen steps up to the T here. It's a long par 5 over to the rabble-rousing. We're also going to play Adeline. Keep making tokens on our board. It's going to take one more turn, rather, for our Citizen to line up the shot. See if we can't take out that rabble-rousing. Opponent crowds the fairway with a Citizen. We're going to try to double block here on this Incubator token. I don't know why we've switched into golf mode here, but let's go with it. Tough break here with the Wandering Emperor coming down, adding a +1/+1 counter to their incubated creature, thereby eliminating both of our tokens. All right, well, we're going to put a counter on Adeline. Citizen realizes we don't too much care about rabble-rousing at the moment, especially when we've got an answer in our back pocket. So we're going to go all in on this Wanderer. Might be foolish, but that's what this player has decided to do. We're going to untap everyone, put some counters on things, and now actually the Citizen is ready to dismantle rabble-rousing. That is a very cute and nice combo with Virtue of Loyalty. All right, so Rousing is down. We draw Beseech off the top. Let's go attacking with Adeline, since that's big enough to survive combat. Double blocks in the most productive way possible. And I think what I'd like to do now, Invasion of Tolvada. Our only choice is to bring back the Citizen's Crowbar. Make another Citizen. Set up to eliminate some more enchantments from our opponent. Virtue of Loyalty making everyone large. An opponent with a last-minute Wandering Emperor. I guess they figured they might play that to the board, since we've got a number of untapped creatures, and they need some defenses. There's a big score from our opponent. That's an interesting kind of inclusion in here. All right, back up rabble-rousing. Usually big score, aside from my bombardment decks, is found in reanimator-type strategies. But I haven't seen anything too big that they've been trying to reanimate yet. So maybe it's just a nod towards the card draw that you usually need in a mono-white deck. All right, let's Beseech. I'm going to bargain away this Crowbar. And let's take a look at some of our options here. I do love an Arena, but I think right now just a little bit of removal might be enough to put this away. All right, let's do the adventure part. Get rid of one of those tokens, and we'll make our small Citizen bigger. So that should be 17... Oh, plus the human, yeah, so even if they block big Adeline, that should be enough to get through. All right, good game.